What's up, SNA assassinators?
God.
This is Super Ninja Austin. I'm so sorry I scared you on that. But anyways, we got NXT to talk about right now on August 27, 2024. And we're going to talk about what just went down on the developmental show of WWE's. And we're going to we're gonna start off on the tag team match, which I thought this was gonna be the main event, and we're gonna see Joe Hendry do his little concert in the beginning of the show, but it was vice versa. But I'll give this match, I wouldn't say the first match of the night though. Like, even though this didn't main event, even if it did, I still would have given it second place. But yeah, I was gonna settle it for 2. But before we got the matches, where we got what's her name, JC Jane and Fallon Henley of the Fatal Influence, like with. I sent a message to Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend what they're going to do to them tonight, and same with the Metaphor, the female members of the Metaphor of Lash Legend, and Jakar Jackson. This is where we got. This is where we got the match started. It started off with I believe was Lash Legend and JC Jane, which we got Lash Legend got the offense for, first, and then this is where we saw her tag in. Or no, it was Jakar Jackson. Then it was what's her name? It was Jakar Jackson and JC Jane, but she managed to that's where then we got this is where we got Jakar Jackson then managed to tag in her teammate Lash Legend. This is where they did a double team slam onto the former Toxic Attraction member. This is where Lash Legend followed that up with a big elbow strike right into the back of what's her name, JC Jane. This is where she immediately kicked out though at 2.1. This is where then we got this is where then Lash Legend then tried to go for a couple of hits right onto to JC Jane, but this is where JC Jane outsmarted her, sent her right into her corner in the upper left side, tags in Fallon Henley to do a double team, but once you try to go for a pin, however, she gets denied at a 2 even or 2.1 count. This is where we got this is where Lash Legend somehow countered out of it. Tags in what's his name, Jakar Jackson. They did a double snapmare, double kick right onto Fallon's back. This is where they try to. This is where we got Jakar didn't try to go for a pin attempt, but Fallon kicks out. This is where Fallon then Irish whips her right to the left side after doing a game of wrestling tennis. This is where then she gets a running European uppercut, but once she went right to the right side, this is where we got Jakar Jackson hit a spinning back elbow strike right onto the face, and then they followed that up with a step-up enziguri. This is where then we got JC Jane start begging Fallon to tag her in, but this is where Jakar Jackson started mocking her. Like, oh, you want to be in and have your friend tag you in? Like, this is where she was like, oh, that's too bad. Like just keep wishing, honey. And this is where she picks her up. This is where she tried to hit the firewoman's carry, but this is where she got flipped right out of it. She got hit with a woman's right. No, it wasn't Lacey Evans that was the one that knocked her out. But this is where we got Fallon and tags in JC. But somehow with her remaining strength, we got what's her name? Jakar Jackson tags in Lash Legend. This is where she tried to wrestle like her ex-boyfriend, the former NXT champion. Well, the man you love to call him Whoop That Trick. This is where then we got but this is where JC Jane then dodge over by pump kick. This is where JC Jane tried to go for one of her own. So amazingly, she tried to go for but instead she went to the right side. She gets tagged in by Fallon. Goes for a sliding Hurricane Rana. This is where then we got what's her name? Fallon Henley didn't go for a crucifix slam while JC tried crossbody right on front of Lash. But this is where Lash Legend hold on to both women right in front and back. But this is where she started doing the quad. This is where did she hit a quadruple dribble right onto their heads, right in the middle of the ropes in the bottom corner. Like go up and down, like boom, 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 bounce it up and down. Again, this is where she spin around Fallon Henley, but this is where she helicopter kicked. What's her name? Helicopter kick. What's her name? JC Jane with Fallon Henley was still on her back. This is where then she tags in Jakar Jackson. This is where then we got Jakar then gets lifted up by Lash Legend like she was about to hit a running bulldog and her own teammate, but she didn't. She really didn't. She just stand right on top of her and start drop kicking every single woman that they're fighting against as a team. And that's where we got This is where we got Lash Legend and hanging on to the middle ropes on the left side, while Jakar Jackson can run to the right and then go straight to the left side. This is where then Jakar Jackson, that's what I'm talking about in the way she pointed out. She reminded me of a female wrestler from the other company. Well, I cannot mention their names right now. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to because due to me talking about WWE right at this time. But this is where we got both her and Lash Legend start doing their metaphor pose right on the left side onto the apron, like doing their own version like of DIY's applaud and a pat in the back kind of gesture. Like it kind of reminded me on that though. But this is where the But yeah, this is where we got the action back in the ring. This is where we got JC and Jakar going at it, start throwing fists back and forth, forth and back, I should say, until they both knock each other out right into the ground. Until we got Lash Legend right in the bottom right side, waiting for her to tag her in, while we got Fallon Henley getting back up and going right up in her end at the upper left side. This is where we got Lash Legend tags in. This is where Lash Legend, got tagged in with a big old hot tag by her teammate Jackson, while Jane did the same with her teammate Henley. And this is where Lash Legend was lashing onto Fallon. This is where she hits clotheslines, a women's right, and then Irish whip to the left side. Then picks her up into a sidewalk, turned into a fallaway slam. Well, before she fallaway slammed her, she started kneeing her right in her side and back. This is where then we got this is where she was wiped out every single woman in the match. This is where she hit a sit-out choke slam right onto a massive choke slam onto Fallon. This is where Fallon somehow kicked out of it at 2.7, I believe. This is where we got her then tagging in Jakara. This is where she got her up, like if she was about to go for a flapjack, along with Jakara, like hit a flying clothesline and made her go backwards, like into a backjack rather than a flat. But anyway, this is where we got JC Jane to take a page out of the Young Bucks' playbook. She speared Lash Legend that was guarding her from stopping the pinfall that Jakar Jackson was about to win, and that she would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that meddling, toxic little girl, JC Jane. Had to do that. That's where then we got every woman was down until Jakar Jackson got back up. She sent JC right onto the outside. That's where we got Jakar Jackson was continuing to go at it with Fallon Henley. Started playing wrestling tennis, was still down on their knees in the wrestling mat. This is where they're like fans like yay to Jakar and then booing Fallon Henley. This is where then we got this is where they try to grab onto Fallon Henley, but this is where she had to throw it first right into the middle ropes. This is where then Fallon tags in JC. This is where then she hits it with the spinning face buster, look like her former teammates maneuver. What's her name? NXT. But yeah, this is where we got JC Jane then try to finish her off with the running swinging neck breaker. Maybe when she got away with it, well, not really, because once she tried to go for the pin, it was a dud because we got Jakar Jackson kicks it out at 2.7. And I was like, wow, I was like, even if she did kick out, I wouldn't have not expected her to exactly kick out at 2.7. Still a little quick than usual, when it comes to a near fall. But this is where then we got JC Jane and grab onto Jakar Jackson right to the left side. This is where Tishikar go for a clothesline, but this is where Jakar Jackson ducks out of it. It's a back flattener, I guess you can. That looked like a what's that? That looked like Edge-O-Matic. This is where she decided to go tag in Lash Legend, her teammate. This is where then we got Lash Legend picking her up wheelbarrow, she about to hit her with a face buster. This is where then she tried to run right to the left side, but this is where we got JC Jane. Then it was Fallon Henley that knocked what's her name out of the ring. What's her name? Jakar Jackson. That's what it was. It was Jakar Jackson. She pulled out of the ring. She sent it right to the left side. We got JC Jane to go for a super kick right into the midsection. She knocks Lash Legend right into the left side. This is where then Booker T's like, wow, that's a big shot. And this is where then we got Jasmine Nixon try to take advantage of the moment of trying to go for the shiny wizard kick on the Lash Legend while the referee was distracted by JC, I believe. But this was with the biggest pump kick that she could possibly hit any woman in NXT right now. This is where she got back in the ring. This is where then we got but this is where the distraction got the better of her. Her Phoenix went down. This is where we got JC Jane and took advantage of taking out Lash Legend like after she got caught off guard. And this is where then she tags in Lash Legend. I mean not Lash. I'm talking about Lash Legend. Fallon Henley, her teammate of the Fatal Influence. This is where they get their knee strike and shiny wizard kick the combo maneuver. Like one in the front and the other in the back. We got Fallon Henley going for the pin. Jakar Jackson trying to come in, but this is where we got JC Jane denied her like honey, and this is where the referee counted the three and the winner of this match. JC Jane and Fallon Henley of the Fatal Influence, and a big congratulations to her. And I did not understand like what was where did Fallon Henley did broke her nose, and that was the one thing that we expected from this match. But despite the broken nose, or any kind of nose injury that she sustained in this match, they still delivered. Yeah, they did a very fantastic job making this a really good opener. And yeah, we got a couple other matches that were in the candidate side for what's going to get the number one spot. And well, we're going to have to talk about that in just a moment. We got Wesley to talk about with him about his dark path of from starting WWE NXT back in February 2021, but he lost his partner about over a year later, about I believe it was 25 months, 27, which he was very upset that he lost his partner due to some personal allegations, I guess you could say, against him, and you had to release them. But this is where we got Wesley. Then went to a different venture since the end of 2022, becoming the NXT North American champion, and then he's been doing great in the singles division since then, until the injury that nearly cost him his career happened. But he had another chance of winning back his NXT North American championship against Obafemi, but at the end, he got squashed by the current North American champion. It looked like he was about to step down away from the business. And this is where they showed a very funny, cool spot, where Vic Joseph was like, no! And then until, MSK or the Rascals, I should say, came out and they were like, no way! That's what Vic Joseph said, in commentary. And and this is where they came back. They had a moment against the Gallus boys, and the same with Javon Evans, and they went Javon Evans, and who else was it? It was I believe it was Javon Evans and Nathan Frazier and Axiom. That's who it was. Yeah, but until they lost until Wesley and Zachary Wentz lost their tag team match against the tag team champions when they had them on the line. He stabbed them right in the back. Stabbed in the back and tagged him and their other teammate, Trey Miguel, and then they also showed when Wesley lost the NXT number one contenders match for the NXT championship between Pete Dunne and Joe Hendry. This is where we got after the match. Zachary Wentz came in and started beating the daylights out of the former North American tag team champion. This is where then. I'm coming after you, and it was confirmed that it is going to be indeed Zachary Wentz and it's going to be Zachary Wentz and what's his name and Wesley at No Mercy on this Sunday on September 1st this year. And who's going to walk out victorious? I'm going to tell you what my predictions are just a moment after I get done talking about tonight's NXT. This is where it started off with next was Carmen Petrovic against Izzy Dane from last week, for her costing her a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. Gauntlet match was similar to the Casino Gauntlet match, except it was more like an eliminator rather than being a one fall pin, a one fall contest, I guess you could say. Yeah, but yeah, it started off with And I gotta stop saying starting off, but when it comes to matches, I do it every occasion. But before I get into that, this is where we got a backstage segment with what's his name, Shante Diadonis, talking to Eddie Thorpe, saying like he's not much of a ladies' man, he's the DJ man. And then it is was like he's like that's who you are, and then he also said that ain't Dakota Kai's enough for him. Well, he didn't say that, but like I was assuming that he was thinking about that right now. So like why does he need a lot of ladies if he's kind of a guy that only needs one special one? But this is where then Eddie Thorpe then responded like I'm in this for the music, man. And this is where Shante Diadonis was like, yeah, that's what DJs exist for. Like, is them playing the music for the cool guys that are the ladies, man. And this is where then Eddie Thorpe's like, oh, really? Like, that's what it's really all about. But it's where then we got somebody in the room. That's where we got Brooks Jensen and went right into the room, and we heard some noise coming out of there. Where I outside of this little kitchen area, I guess you could say, that Eddie Thorpe and Ashante Diadonis was located at. That's where I started attacking. I believe was what's his name, Malik Blade, I believe, or was it Interest Enough? Like it was one of them. This is where we got Vic Joseph showing the tweet of what Wendy Chu sent to Kalani Jordan, saying, Kalani, I have a special surprise opponent for you, like ahead of our title match at No Mercy. I can't wait to reveal who it is, or maybe I can. And you will not believe who exactly this surprise opponent that Wendy Chu had for the reigning defending NXT Women's North American Championship. I'm gonna talk about that after I get done talking about this match right here. And I'll say these women definitely delivered right here. It just felt like a match that looks like if it could be a number one contenders kind of rivalry. Or even like a title rivalry, like if one of them are champions, like this rivalry is so good. Like I hope one of these women one day become the champion, and that'll be sooner. But this is where we got the match starting with Carmen Petrovic not wasting no time at all, trying to whack and splat onto Izzy. But this is where Izzy tossed her right into the left side, shoulder tackled her right into the ground. This is where she was like, "You think you're gonna cut this fine?" You think you're gonna dry up this tall drink of water up? And then this is where she was like I don't think so. This is where then she went right to the left. She goes right to the right, then go to the left, like try to go for a slide. But this is where she grabbed on the Carmen. This is where she tried to close on her. But this is where Carmen gets body slam backbreaker by the 6 foot. By the 6 foot, I'll say mean girl, I guess you could call her. This is where then she speared her right into the midsection. This is where she starts trying to torture what's her name? Izzy Dame. Not Izzy. Izzy Dame doing this to Carmen Petrovic. This is where then she goes for the sidewalk backbreaker. She tried to go for the pin. This is where then we got Carmen Petrovic then try to get right back up, but she gets torture racked by what's her name, Izzy Dame. I was like, damn, like she kind of reminds me of a WWE version of that one girl that's over in the other company that's also 6 foot. But I'm not gonna talk about that because they have something to do with the other mystery wrestler that I always keep referencing. But that's a different video for a different day. But this is where we got Izzy Dame to start continuing to do torture rack right on to Carmen Petrovic. That's where like she nearly broke her spine into half, if not her full torso. This is where luckily Carmen Petrovic thought of an idea of kneeing Carmen. Not Carmen. She is Carmen. Izzy. She tried to knee Izzy right in her head. We got her off. This is where then she arms put right to the right side. This is where then she tried to go for a back elbow strike. But this is where we got Carmen then ducks out of it, goes to the left side, try to go for a crossbody, but this is where she surfboard